Oh, lovely.
60 episodes will.
Congratulations.
Thank you. How do you feel with Vistas and the entire atmosphere at IIM Bangalore?
Well, I have to say it's my first time here, and I'm surprised I haven't come all these years. And I think the campus is stunning. It's beautiful. The energy in the room was great. You were there, really sort of vibrant. You could feel hope in the air. You know, that sense of hope and energy and youth and dreams. Pick up all of that.
You started on your own in 2018.
Yes.
How was that transition?
And you know, it actually took me a year before I actually started. Like in my head, it was like, okay, 2018. But I actually, Mojo Story, which is my digital platform, YouTube channel, as well as a website, I actually started, it took me 9 months before I started taking myself seriously. So the idea was born, but it wasn't until the end of 2019 that I actually started working on it. And as I said, it coincided with a cascade of news from the, you know, COVID to farmer protests to citizenship legislation protests. So suddenly I had no time to build a company, and I was just dealing with this overwhelming flood of news. But now that the book is written, I have time to put the building blocks in place. And of course, it's a big change, right? To go from being an employee, I worked for 20 years plus in the same organization, to being responsible for other employees, to doing everything yourself. It's a big change. It's kind of like leaving home and finding your own independence.
Do you think you found that sweet spot?
I love it. I love it. There are days that feel very difficult, but most days I'm like, I'm my own boss. That's just so thrilling. And I worked really hard as an employee, and I feel I earned the right now to be my own boss. But it's more than any of that. Is that I can do the work that I really love. I'm not caught up in a system that I don't, or an industry that I don't relate to or I don't identify with anymore. And I also think technology is very exciting. It's going to transform the way we consume content, we report content. And I'm glad that I've been a first mover. Or, I wish I'd done it earlier, actually.
We all do.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing that happened in the audience where a girl stood up and like, you changed my life. How does that feel to hear something like that?
Overwhelming. Every time a young woman comes up to me and says this, and it happens a fair bit, and especially on university campuses, I just feel like all the anxiety and sometimes sadness and cynicism I feel about the state of media in our country, that evaporates for a while. Because, I mean, what else is journalism but to feel that you've touched the life of somebody else? And in particular, I think every generation of women owes it to the next to open doors for them. And to feel that you've done that for somebody, I think really matters. Even if you've just lived your life and created the possibility that other girls, other women can dream, I think even that is enough.
And my audience are the youth that went through pandemic in the most vulnerable way possible. Why don't you tell us about the book and what aspects of it touched you?
Yeah. So the book is based on 2 years of traveling across India, at a time when a lot of the big channels actually didn't put anybody on the ground, and it was left to independent platforms like myself, like regional newspapers, independent photographers, to really tell the story of India and the pandemic. And I know a lot of young people and old people, like sometimes they say, oh, we don't want to revisit that time. And I always say that this book is actually, COVID is the backdrop. This book is a story of India. This book is about India. It's about journalism, it's about people, and it's called Humans of COVID. Why? Because I think that while we were living it, we didn't have a sense of what was happening to each one of us at an individual level. We were too busy just surviving and hoping we would survive. But everybody has a very unique story to tell. Everybody went through something that is unique to them. And, whether it is confronting fear, confronting vulnerability, losing somebody you love, how do you deal with grief, having the classroom turned digital, having no classroom, finding your cognitive skills getting impacted because you had no classroom, there was no interface meeting. It talks about all of that, and I really believe that you will find either a story of yourself in it or the story of somebody you know, your parents, your neighbors, somebody you admire from afar. It's really a story, it's a collective chronicle of our time. And I think that for a lot of people who say that they'll feel sad, well, there are moments of sadness, but there are also moments of great hope, of heroes, of stories you wouldn't have heard, who witnessed it, who went out of their way to help other people. It was a very difficult time for me personally. I cried a lot while writing this book, but it helped me grieve. It helped me deal with the loss of my father. And I think for any of you who had a tough 2 years, I need some release. You're not lonely. You're not alone. A lot of people didn't feel it was okay. A lot of people are still not feeling okay. It's all right. It's okay to say you're not okay.
Yeah. I think this book is really about revisiting those memories in a different way.
Yeah.
And feeling better because you did it. So do check it out. The link will be in the show description. What's the impact you seek to make with Mojo Stories?
We have two slogans. One is people first. One of the things I found when I traveled across India, there's a deep disconnect between what TV news focuses on and what people care about. And so we want the issues that we pick up to be issues that matter to people, and therefore to create a sense of community, for there to be a kind of community ownership and participation in journalism. The journalism not something that somebody's telling you what to think or somebody's, And the other is that wherever possible, we will go to where the story is. So we will not be studio rats. We will not just opine. We have studio programs, of course. Every day we can't be on the road. But wherever possible, we will go to where the story is. We will bring the voices of people who you don't hear in mainstream news. And we will put people and not this navel-gazing universe of journalism as it often becomes.
That's a very strong mission to live to. So any message you want to send across to the followers of Vistas on Instagram and social media?
Well, just to say thank you. It's always lovely to be in a room full of 20-somethings and you just sort of feel young again. Because as I said, you see all that hope in the room. But I just have one thing to say, a lot of young people today are seceding from the issues all around them because either they feel like this is their time to build a life or, what can they do? Well, you know what? Please engage with the issues in your neighborhood, engage with the issues on your campus, engage with the issues in your state, engage with the issues in your community and your country. You have the privilege, you have a voice. There's so many people who don't have a voice, so use your voice.
And dare, dream, and deliver.
And dream big.